Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Gremlin's Paradise. My name is Gizmo, and today we're going to fly a mission of FSX, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we're going to fly the mission from Amsterdam to London. And in mid-flight, one of the passengers will getting a heart attack, and we need to divert to Rotterdam as soon as possible. Well, let's have a look at the chart for a moment. As when we're going to take off, we're going to have this runway here, and we fly in this direction to London. Somewhere around here we will have that our passenger is having a heart attack, and we'll need to divert to Rotterdam. That will be like this. We will make a turn here to the Rotterdam ROT, and then fly in this direction here while making a turn and flying straight into the runway. Well, that's it. Let's go into FSX. You go to mission, and Amsterdam London airliner. Run. Start briefing. You can see some details if you want. This is the chart we just watched. If you want to have the chart in full view, just click on it, drag it, and place it somewhere on your desktop. Okay, here you have also the information of this is the information of the landing itself. This tells you how the runway is located. This is the Rotterdam ROT, what we're going to fly on. We're going parallel to the runway. We're going to the NDB, and then we're making a turn into the localizer of the runway. There's the runway. This is telling you the degree of the runway itself. It's telling the angle. It's telling how fast your engines need to go, how many rotation speed. Quite complicated. I'm not going to explain it. You should figure out that yourself. It took me like weeks and weeks of learning and learning, so I'm not going to explain that, of course. But we click fly and we're going to begin. Okay, there we are. I'm not going to talk a lot through the video because my co-pilot is also talking a lot. When I have the chance to talk, I'll explain something that I'm doing. But this is more tutorial, so you can see how to do this mission. Not really the explaining video. You need to go to another video, the Amsterdam Rotterdam ILS approach. I'll explain more and detail what I'm doing. So, let's go.
All radio communication on this flight, you'll handle the flying. All set? I'll call for our clearance. Good morning, Schiphol clearance delivery, World Travel 293, IFR to Heathrow.
World Travel 293, clear to London Heathrow Airport as well. Climb and maintain 6000, expect flight level 260, 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 119.05, squawk 0034.
Clear to Heathrow is filed. Climb and maintain 6000. Expect flight level 260. 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 119.05. Squawk 0034.
World Travel 293, read back correct. Expect runway 24 and contact ground on 121.7 when ready to taxi.
We'll expect 24 and contact ground. Thanks. Alright, we're cleared as file with an initial altitude of 6,000 feet. We're ready to go, so I'll get our taxi clearance. Schiphol ground, World Travel 293 with Papa, ready to taxi, IFR.
World Travel 293, taxi to runway 24 via taxiways Alpha 9, Bravo, Echo 1. Altimeter 2921.
24 via Alpha 9, Bravo, Echo 1, world travel 293. Okay, we've been cleared to taxi to runway 24 using taxiways Alpha 9, Bravo, and Echo 1. Initiate pushback and I'll make a call to the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your first officer speaking. We're beginning our taxi and expect to be first in line for takeoff. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure.
Okay, now we're going into pushback. We set the auto brakes off of parking brakes. And normally you don't use it at the ground, but for the sake of this tutorial, we activate reverse thrust. Because that's also going to take us to the back. As you can see, altitude is 6,000. We will set the rest later on. Okay, we go to flaps 5, because that's standard default for taxiing and taking off Boeing 737. We set the FD on so we get the cross here, so you can see how we are flying. We set the trim. To a little bit below 5 degrees. We have everything set. You will hear the co-pilot asking soon for the engine start switches to go on continuous and later on to be off. I won't do anything here because there is no option for it. So now let's taxi. Oh, one little thing: if you're taking off with the mouse choke, be careful, because it's reacting on you in all way you're doing. So if you want to deactivate it and you want to hit the mouse choke, you will see it still works now. So if you don't pay attention, it could be just that you're like pitching your nose up without you want to have it actually happen. So watch out for this one. Oh, let's go.
Taxi checklist. Flaps,
Jeez.
set 5.
What an
Trim,
idiot.
set for takeoff.
He was,
Taxi checklist completed.
that little car was like, I'll be faster than your airplane. Well, I'm actually lucky that I forgot to change the realistic settings for if you hit something, otherwise that would be a crash immediately. I deactivated it. Yeah, it's way better. Like if you didn't see something like that coming and it hits you, you can start all over again. It's not funny if you're like filming for like 20 minutes and then can start over. We need to park here a little bit further than the stripe because there's a little bug on this airport. I don't know why, but it's doing it.
Alright, hold short here and I'll get our takeoff clearance. Ski Pole Tower, world travel 293, holding short runway 24, ready to go.
World travel 293, wind 23015, runway 24, cleared for takeoff, fly runway heading.
And clear for takeoff, world travel 293. Okay, before takeoff checklist. Engine start switches, set to continuous.
We don't have that.
Flaps set to 5.
It's standing on 5.
And before takeoff checklist complete. Alright, turn on the landing lights and strobes and let's go. After takeoff, fly runway heading and climb to 6,000 feet.
The landing lights are here. This is your strobe button. I always set APU on. Normally it's also needed to set on, but for this flight you don't need it for this mission. Alright, let's get on to the runway.
V1, rotate. V2. Positive rate, gear up.
World Travel 293, contact departure.
World Travel 293, switching. Thanks. Flaps up and accelerate to 250 knots. Ski-pole departure, World Travel 293 is with you, climbing to 6,000.
World Travel 293, roger.
So now the autopilot is taking it over. I can actually relax now in this moment. We had a nice takeoff.
Let's run through the after takeoff checklist. Landing gear, up. Flaps, up. Engine start switches set to off.
No, we don't have that also. Okay. Normally
After takeoff checklist complete.
below 10,000 feet you should not go faster than 250. For the sake of this tutorial and keeping it shorter,
World Travel 293, turn
I'll
left,
go
225, proceed on course.
full speed.
12,000.
Left to 225, then on course and up to 12,000. World Travel 293. Okay, turn left to 225 degrees, then join our flight plan route. Climb to 12,000 feet.
Okay, let's speed this baby up a little bit. If you go to 330 knots, then you should look out, because it's getting very quick, close to the overspeed warning. If you go like this and you stay here for like a few seconds, yeah, then it's done. You can start over again. So watch out that you're not getting the overspeed signal if you're doing this. If you get the overspeed signal, then change your speed rapidly, just a little bit, and then activate the spoiler. That will give you a pretty quick decreasing of speed.
Flight deck, go ahead.
Just wanted to let you know that one of our passengers isn't feeling well. There's a doctor on board, so he's being treated. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, thanks for letting us know.
The biggest irritation of the pilot, I guess, when you're finally on a flight, like waiting for hours,
526, turn left heading.
and then one of your passengers is getting a heart attack.
We're going too fast. Reduce thrust to slow us down to 330 knots or less.
Left to 200, orbit 567.
Okay, let's do that. Let's give it a little bit slack, because if you're getting warnings from your co-pilot and you're not changing anything, your mission will be failed also.
World Travel 293, contact Amsterdam Center on 123.85.
123.85 for World Travel 293. Amsterdam Center, World Travel 293, climbing to 12,000.
World Travel 293, Amsterdam Center. Continue on course, altimeter 2921. World Travel 293, climb and maintain flight level 220.
Climbing to flight level 220, World Travel 293. Well, we're cleared up to 22,000 feet now, so let's keep climbing. Okay, we're passing 10,000 feet, so we can turn the landing lights off. We should leave the seatbelt sign on, though, until we get out of these clouds, just in case it gets a little choppy.
Landmark 11, contact Rotterdam approach now on 127.02.
Landmark 11, we'll see you.
Flight deck, go ahead.
The doctor says the sick passenger is having a heart attack.
Okay, well, so I assume he thinks we need to get him to a hospital.
Yes, sir. He says he needs to get to hospital immediately.
Okay, thanks. We'll let you know what we decide to do. Well, looks like we should divert to the closest airport with a hospital. Rotterdam is just behind us, and we'll be able to get in and out of there quickly. I'll call dispatch. World Travel Dispatch, World Travel 293.
World Travel 293, dispatch, go ahead.
We're just off Amsterdam for London. One of our passengers is having a heart attack, and a doctor on board says he needs immediate medical attention. We're planning on diverting to Rotterdam.
World Travel 293, stand by. World Travel 293, roger. We'll call ahead and have paramedics meet you at the gate.
Okay, thank you. We'll divert to Rotterdam. We'll advise when on the ground. World Travel 293. So let's divert to Rotterdam. Identifier Echo Hotel Romeo Delta. Hopefully we can get in there quickly. I'll notify ATC. Amsterdam Center, World Travel 293, has a passenger with a medical emergency. Request diversion to Rotterdam.
World Travel 293, roger. Descend and maintain 2,000.
Down to 2,000. World Travel 293. Okay, descend to 2,000 feet.
Okay, I just made a direct
World
connection
Travel
to
293, contact Rotterdam approach now on 127.02.
World Travel 293, switching. Thanks for the help. Rotterdam approach, World Travel 293, descending to 2,000, diversion to Rotterdam for a medical emergency.
World Travel 293, roger. Rotterdam altimeter 29.21. Proceed direct to the Rotterdam Romeo Oscar Tango NDB. Expect vectors for the ILS runway 24 approach.
Direct to Rotterdam Romeo Oscar Tango NDB, World Travel 293. Okay, let's turn around and fly to the Rotterdam NDB, identifier ROT, frequency 350.5. From there we'll get vectors for the ILS. I'll notify the flight attendants.
Forward cabin, go ahead.
We're diverting to Rotterdam, so please prepare the cabin.
Okay, good to hear. I'll tell the doctor and we'll get the cabin ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first officer speaking. We have a passenger with a medical emergency on board, so we're diverting to Rotterdam. We should be on the ground in just a few minutes. Once the passenger is off board, we'll continue on to London as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience. Flight attendants, prepare for landing.
Okay, what I just did in here was I selected the direct to. I typed in EHRD, that's for Rotterdam. I hit enter a few times until you get activate. As soon as you get this, you select activate approach and hit enter. Then you saw that I had like just a moment. You saw that I had like a line here. Well, what I actually did is I entered again the approach, select approach, and I entered again ROT, and then I activate it again. Now it's away. You can try that also if you think it's irritating, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on
10,000 feet.
navigation.
Slow to 250 knots. Turn on the landing lights and the fasten seatbelt sign.
Okay, that I already have, but I'll go to navigation, approach. GPS approach. Dang it.
Approach checklist. Altimeter set to 29.21. Speed set. At our current weight, we'll want to fly the approach at 145 knots.
145, alright.
Approach brief. The frequency for the runway 24 ILS is 108.3, and the course setting is 239er. Get yourself set up for the approach.
108.3.
Approach checklist complete.
We activate it. And 049er he said. And that's the course of the runway. What I did, I set the button up to GPS, so it follows the GPS, and then I activated the approach button. Means that the aircraft will automatically go to the point of ROT. That's here. After that, I'll follow the flight plan. I will go here. I will go fly up to here. They instruct me to go here and then follow here. But yeah, if you do this, then it will follow. It flies itself up to the point you need to be. Be prepared. If you set this on, the altitude button turns off. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, you will crash if you don't notice it. Okay. As soon as we get the direction which heading we need to fly on, we switch to heading, we set this to navigation, and then we have it ready for the ILS. For now, I'll keeping it on GPS until I got my next objective. I will set my speed brakes already. Auto brakes. He wants it to stand on free. If you want to go into auto brakes, you need to hit F10 because you need to get this view. Otherwise, you cannot. There's just no way this button will work. So go to F10 and then you can change it. You can see here ROT, that's where we're flying to. As soon as we are close here, this line here will turn into purple. Means that this is the next step of the route the GPS is going to follow.
World travel 293, fly heading 050 to Rotterdam, Romeo, Romeo, NDB. Reduce speed to 180 knots.
050 to the NDB and slowing to 180. World travel 293. Okay, bring us around to 050 degrees, which will take us to the Rotterdam, Romeo, Romeo, NDB, and slow to 180 knots.
Okay, we did that. We slowed to 180. We changed the heading and we switched over to heading. We set it on navigation. What we're now going to do is we're going to activate approach because we don't have to follow that line anymore. Activates to final. Now you get this again, so doing it again. So go back to activate the final, do that 2 times. And now you have here the line here. That's what you need to have, that's the localizer. So if you want to have the frequency of the runway for the ILS, you go click to the right at the big wheel once, and left the small wheel once. Then you have the ILS 24, it's 108.3. That's what we put in here. We put in here 180.3 and then we hit activate and it switches. I cannot go to flaps 5 immediately because I'm flying too quick. Still. Let's change that for a moment. Otherwise you get a warning. I can try it now, but... Okay, we are in flap 5. But yeah, when you have it set here, you will put it in here and you will hit this button. It will activate, and if you have set everything correctly, the ILS will do everything itself. So back to here. We will soon get the clearance to make a left turn.
Will travel 293, turn left, heading 270. Maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. Clear ILS runway 24 approach. Contact the tower on band 18.2 at the marker.
Cleared for the approach tower at the marker, world travel 293. Okay, turn left to 270 degrees and intercept the ILS. Maintain 2,000 feet until we're established on the localizer.
Okay, now we're going to 270, we're making the turn to the localizer. I'll explain this first. You see here 2 diamonds. This diamond means if we're straight lined up with the runway, yes or no. This diamond means if we're above or below the glide slope. If we are below the glide slope, the diamond will go up. If we are above the glide slope, the diamond will go down. The perfect position of the diamonds, of both diamonds, should be in the middle. As soon as we are close to the localizer, that's like this. What we're going to do, we're going to activate the VOR lock button. What it does, when you're close to the localizer, it will capture the plane, and the plane will go follow this line. Then you will also see that the heading will go off itself as soon. It just happens. The heading goes off itself, and the airplane starts to turn to the localizer. You can see a slightly turn, and it's going to change. Now you see this diamond moving also, and this diamond you see moving now. And now you see the aircraft turning. That's exactly what should happen. Now we have the localizer, but we still need to go down. Now we have this diamond here going to the middle, and as soon as this diamond is going to the middle, you activate the approach button. This time you don't have to worry about your altitude. As soon as this is in the middle, the altitude button will turn off. Then it says here, the altitude button turns off, and you see that the aircraft is pitching down. That's exactly what needs to happen. Now the aircraft is now configured to line up with the runway, and it's configured to descend itself. The only thing we still need to do is controlling the flaps, the landing gear, and the speed. Make sure when you're going to touch down the runway, this button here is set on off. If you don't do that, you cannot deactivate this button when you hit the runway, and your speed will be kept. So turn this button off, turn this button off, and then you can decrease your throttles. Then they will not be automatically anymore.
Gear down, set full flaps, slow to 145 knots.
Gear down.
Rotterdam Tower, world travel 293 on the ILS 424.
World travel 293, wind 251 at 17, runway 24, clear to land.
And we're going full flaps.
Travel 293. Flight attendants, please be seated for landing. Here we go, landing checklist. Gear down. Flaps set to full. Speed brakes armed. Auto brakes set to 3. Landing checklist complete.
Speed brake is armed. you can see below glide slope. If this is not turned on, then you're not below glide slope. As long as you're below glide slope, the aircraft will have the frequency and follow it. If you're above the glide slope, you eventually will lose it. And then you need to make it go and go around. Okay, I'm going to deactivate this one, otherwise we cannot slow down, and I'm going to activate mouse choke, and I'm flying now myself, decreasing speed. And that's a nice landing. Activate reverse thrust.
World travel 293, turn next taxiway, contact ground on 122.17.
Deactivating this one.
World travel
Deactivating
293.
reverse thrust. And now we're going to roll. Get your flaps back to 0. Or to 5 actually, because taxiing is 5, but he will say 0, I think. If you want to do that quickly, you can hit the keyboard. F1 to F4 is your throttles. F5 to F8 are your flaps. F1 is shut off the throttle to idle. F4 is full thrust. F2 and F3 you can switch, make adjustments. Same thing counts for the flaps. Alright, we're almost there.
Rotterdam ground, world travel 293, off 24, taxi to the gate.
World travel 293, taxi to parking on the east side of the terminal at the base of the control tower. An ambulance is standing by.
Taxi to the east side of the terminal, world travel 293. Okay, let's taxi over to the ambulance on the east side of the terminal building. After landing, checklist. Landing lights off. Engine start switches off. Flaps up. Speed brake down. Auto brake off.
Oh, we're making a little shortcut here because we have a passenger with a heart attack, so. Now we get the flaps up. And we set the speed of the parking brakes. Oh, we cannot turn off the ground power. Huh. Yeah, okay. Ah, battery power off. Okay. Now, we're totally done here. That was the mission. I hope you guys enjoyed the mission. If you want to have some extra information about FSX, if you want to have a tutorial about another game, you want to review, doesn't matter, just go in and go to your mail or some and mail me at TGP stripe. What was it? Just no, just TGP at dse.nl. So TGP at dse.nl, and I'll look into it. So I thank you all for watching, and until my next video.